So we're using a plumb bob to find the center of our wheel opening. We know that with the Mustang 2 that the spindle with the cross member lines up down through the center of that as well. So in order to make everything look even, we're just using a plumb bob. We're hanging that down over there to find our center point, and we'll work off of that. So once the body is on the chassis and the wheels are on, everything is good to go. So we've got a really good start on our chassis. We're just using this mock-up block for now with the transmission. It's going to be an LS in it, and he thinks Turbo 400, which that's what this mock-up is. So if that's the case, we're in great shape there. But we're actually getting ready. We're going to set the body, the cab part of that, onto this chassis. We're waiting on some suspension parts to come, tubular A-arms and whatnot, so they should be here in a few days. But until then, we're going to set the cab on there. We're going to widen this whole body 4 to 5 inches. So we need to get some measurements and figure some things out on that end of it as well. We're also using the front doors from a Morris Minor car, sedan, I do believe. I'm not 100% positive, but they're 3 inches longer than the truck doors. So we're going to be using those longer ones on the front. So that means we're going to have to move the pillar, center pillar back, which would be our B pillar. Since we're making suicide doors, we're going to have to strengthen that as well. And there's going to be a lot of rust repair throughout this whole process. So we're going to get some things set up here, move some things around, get this chassis on the table, on the chassis table, off the fabrication table, and we're going to set the cab on that, and we'll go from there then. All right, so we got some bracing in here now. We're getting ready. We're going to make these sections in here. The inner rocker panel, we're going to add for the cab length as well for the crew cab. So we have preliminary estimates made up. This is where the rear of the back door should come. We're going to add extra off of that for the rear pillar, and then the back of the cab itself. It sits on there. So Scott's going to make a couple notches in here with the plasma. And we're going to get some of this 2-inch tubing bent up to that proper contour. Now the back of this cab is this. So right now we have to keep the measurements the same. Even though we're going to widen this, everything's going to be widened 4 or 5 inches. The back of the cab, after we bend these 2x2 pieces up, has to be the same distance back here for now in order for everything to line up properly. So yeah, he's going to cut some notches. I got length measurements. I'm going to cut the tubing down while he's doing that, and we're going to start bending some of this up, and we're going to keep at it here. Now that we're ready, we have those rails made. We're going to cut these ones out and install the new ones in. All right, so we have our 2-inch tube cut to length. And what we're going to do, I don't have a 2-inch bead or roller for my tubing bender, square one that is, a square die. So we're going to make cuts along half of this, the length of this tube, to duplicate this contour. Now it shouldn't take too much. It's a gradual slight bend. So I'm just going to use a Sawzall to make the initial cuts to see how much that allows us to bend that end. And we'll go from there to see if we need to make any more, or if we'll be good to go and I can just tack them back together for now. But that's the right. So Scott got these inner rockers fabbed up and set in, tacked into place there. We have our inner structure bent, contoured. And you can see how the front, and nothing's just sitting here for now, but you can see how the front tapers in on these. So we have our distance at the back where we need it. When we move back of this cab back into here. Actually, it'll be in that area. It's coming along, making good headway on it so far. Next step. So what we're doing here, we're using the sedan doors, which are 3 inches longer than the pickup doors themselves. So we have to remove these posts, and they're in pretty bad shape anyway, so we're going to fabricate new ones. But we're going to get this front door hung by the front hinges for now, so we can locate our posts in the back. And we'll repeat the process on the other side. Original post cut out, and we're replacing it with 2x4 1/8-inch wall tubing, strengthen everything up because the front door won't be hinged off this. And we can tie everything in with our 2x2, make a super strong structure that nothing moves in this. Well, they got this original pillar cut down, but I mean, we're back. We're going to make them. We're going to do something like that. Now, this is just a test piece. And I guess we kind of like that, so we're going to make these up for both sides. And we'll be good to go. These things are just we're beating a dead horse trying to repair those, so we're just going to make new ones. Well guys, we're going to end part 1 here. On part 2 we're going to continue. We're going to make up these pillar covers and find our distance we need for our rear pillar from the back doors. On the next one we're going to get that set probably, and we'll just keep continuing on. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit notifications.